Welcome. My name is Christina Oliver, and this is my presentation on my Educational Technology Internship at Loyola University. I would like to thank you for watching my presentation. A little about myself. I graduated from Shepherd University with my bachelor's in music education. From there, I started my career with Washington County Public Schools. I am currently in my 6th year as an elementary band director and have previously taught orchestra at both the elementary and middle school levels. Most recently, I have been working towards my master's in education with an emphasis in educational technology from Loyola University in Maryland. A few years ago, Washington County Public Schools developed the Portal, a collection of resources for classroom teachers. Since then, it has become a topic of discussion with administrators when planning content. Teachers are constantly asked, "Have you used the portal? Have you checked the portal?" Unfortunately, it was something that didn't exist for elementary band, let alone music altogether. So for my internship, I chose to create the portal for elementary band by curating that collection of resources. My proposal centered around the idea of curating a collection of resources for the 10 elementary band directors in Washington County Public Schools. Working in collaboration with these teachers, we aligned the resources and the portal to county standards. This was a much needed resource for the elementary band teachers, as it existed for every content area except ours. For the past 6 years at least, we had been using several folders in Google Drive to house all of our important documents, something that had become quite disorganized. Considering this proposal, I took into account 3 different models of change: Rogers' perceived attributes, the Adcott model, and Eli's 8 conditions of change. It was easy to see that there was no harm in moving forward with this project, and if successful, the benefits would be tremendous. Teachers were obviously dissatisfied with how things were being done and had the tools necessary to make it better. The only thing that was really needed was my vision and leadership. There were 3 objectives for this internship that focused on teachers. Teachers would be able to identify valuable resources to be included in the portal. Teachers would reflect upon the elements of the existing portal to help develop our own, and teachers would critically analyze resources to determine their value. Through various processes, these teachers were able to accomplish these objectives. Prior to beginning my internship, I discussed this idea with Dr. Stephen Miles, the supervisor of visual and performing arts in Washington County, and he was very excited by the idea and asked if I would be willing to present it at our countywide professional development. I agreed to present and shared it with the elementary band directors the very next day. Though the presentation was informal, the teachers were very excited about the prospect of having such a resource, and after discussing the idea, we used a group Padlet to brainstorm some ideas as to what resources should be included. The Padlet was a great way to organize our thoughts and gave us time afterwards to add additional items. While there were a few strange responses, most were beneficial and seemed to revolve around the same ideas. After brainstorming ideas, the first step was to browse other portals. The objective for this step was to reflect upon the key elements of the WCPS portal to determine how resources align with the WCPS standards. This step also allowed us to examine other portals and determine how to design our own. I included links to some of the more relevant portals, including Visual and Performing Arts, Special Education, World Languages, and English Language. Participants were asked to click on a link and make notes about the layout, links and resources, and anything additional that they may see. After sending my email to the elementary band directors, I received a very confusing response. A teacher that I had a high level of confidence in had difficulty understanding what I was asking them to do. So I decided to revisit my email and reflect on my request. Obviously, I had to send a clarifying email then. I decided to clarify the email by sending step-by-step directions of step 1, look at 1 or 2 of the links, and step 2, make note of the things you see. And to make it even easier to understand, I included a sample of the science portal. I noted that it had grade level tabs, a site map, included sample documents, and a calendar for professional development. And after clarifying my requests, participants had a much easier time at understanding what I was asking them to do. Now, seeing how problematic this was, I approached every step after in the same exact manner. I sent participants step-by-step directions and made sure that everything was in very basic terms. I think that learning this lesson early on in my internship was probably the best thing that could have happened because it made me aware of this moving forward. For the second step, I had participants complete a Google Forms survey. This survey helped to identify the more important resources from the group Padlet and asked if there was anything that should or should not be included. This truly helped to provide insight into how the teachers were imagining this resource would progress. After the survey, I sent out the guidelines for the development of the portal. These were created solely by me with some input from one of the other elementary band directors. Teachers were given the option to provide feedback, but no one spoke up. The guidelines were 1. All resources should be relevant to elementary instrumental music within Washington County Public Schools. 2. Resources should be current. Resources created more than 5 years ago will need to be thoroughly critiqued and have a majority vote to be included. 3. Resources will be organized according to 4 different categories: curriculum, communication and events, music, and links and applications. 4. Resources will be linked into the website, opening directly to new pages and documents. 5. Sample documents, i.e. lesson plans and SLOs, will be the creation of current elementary instrumental music teachers. 6. There must be appropriate permissions to use resources not created by elementary instrumental music teachers within Washington County Public Schools. And 7. All resources will be cited in APA format. Recently, we've been focusing on copyright, so it seems that several of the guidelines focus on having the appropriate permissions to use. I wanted to ensure that this website didn't cross any of those boundaries and that we didn't get in trouble for creating this resource, even though it was intended for educational purposes. The last step for participants was critiquing the resources. From the Padlet and the Google Forms survey, I organized the resources according to their category. Following each resource, I made note of its alignment to the guidelines and provided a yes or no box for participants. Participants were then asked to review each resource and type their initials into the corresponding box for whether or not it should be included in the website. This seemed to take the most time as all of our schedules were in full swing. I did end up sending a few reminder emails to make sure that everyone participated in this step of the process. I felt that this step specifically needed full participation as it was the structure for our website. After sending those reminder emails though, I had very quick responses and was actually able to begin building the website sooner than expected. Overall, the steps leading up to the creation of the website went very well. The challenges which were also identified in the proposal were that of time and participation. Each individual had a very limited schedule in which to complete these tasks, and in designing them, I made certain that they only took a few minutes and could be done asynchronously in their own time. Additionally, I encountered some confusion with 2 of the less tech-savvy participants. These individuals seemed to have difficulty understanding what I was creating and also had difficulty with uploading some of the resources. I had several conversations with these individuals via email to help clarify and even offered additional assistance as needed. After completing the guidelines for the website, I actually started building the shell of the website before completing the critique. I felt that I had enough information that I could at least get started on building the basic structure and then plug in the content as I went. This was the first website that I built for this project, and unfortunately, after discussing it with a colleague, I decided that it needed a more updated look. So the weekend before I was supposed to present it to the elementary band directors, I revamped the entire website. This is the final product, the elementary instrumental music website. While it's the second website, it has the same layout and content as the first, but with a more updated look. To walk you through this a bit, it has the 4 different categories from the critique of resources at both the top and bottom of the homepage. These were curriculum, communication and events, music, and links and apps, with an additional contact page. Within each category, there are subcategories that list specific resources that teachers may be looking for. If, for example, I wanted to look at the elementary band standards, I would click here and be redirected right to the section. Additionally, because the standards title is highlighted blue and underlined, it is also hyperlinked to the document in our shared Google Drive for Washington County Public Schools. One of the concerns expressed by a participant was that we currently have a Team Drive and a Google folder. This has caused a great deal of confusion, and adding another resource such as this would potentially cause even more confusion. To help alleviate this, I've linked all resources and documents from the various folders in Google Drive to this website. Rather than have to search through 3 different locations, teachers can now search this website, and there is even a search bar at the bottom of every page. Aside from redesigning the website in a few days, the main challenge was trying to figure out how to allow access to some content for viewers, but deny access for non-WCPS employees. This was crucial to the inclusion of the Elementary Arts Festival documents, as these often include student names and schools. I was successfully able to accomplish this, ensuring that student information is protected. While there is a great deal of information on this website, it is a very valuable resource. I will be including a link at the bottom as well as a link in the email so that you can feel free to look at this whenever you would like to. On Friday, November 8th, I presented the website to the elementary band directors at our professional development. They were very excited about this resource and were impressed at how the final product turned out. Even though it was time-consuming for them, I believe that they felt it was very much worth their time for the end result. Following my presentation, I asked the teachers to complete one final Google Forms survey. Their responses were highly accepting and optimistic about how this resource can move forward. They felt that it was a valuable resource because it combined a multitude of information and resources in one location, making everything easier to find and access. Many noted that they plan to use this website to help their students by exploring the links and apps and free music resources in the music library. A few also added that they believe it will help them keep track of information, aiding in their ability to plan instruction. The only true negative that they had was that it's not currently linked into the WCPS portal for all teachers and therefore can't really be used as a discussion piece with administrators just yet. Moving forward, there will definitely be some additions and changes to the website. I plan to incorporate the suggestions of the elementary band directors by adding grading guides for Synergy and instrument demonstration videos, as well as links and resources as they are found. I would also like to include elementary strings content, which would help to make this resource valuable for even more teachers. The standards and rubrics that are used by the strings teachers are identical to the band ones, so it would really just be a matter of adding the resources that they use in their classrooms with students, such as the I2 Can Playbook. It would also be great to eventually include resources for the middle and high school instrumental music teachers as well. Regardless though, this is going to be a continuous work in progress, something that I know, and this website will need to be updated a few times a year. Seeing how well my internship went, I would really like to create a similar resource for parents and students in the future. Not only would it increase parent and student knowledge, but I believe that it also has the potential to increase the retention rate of music students across the county. My thought is that a resource like this would include rental information, helpful practice tips and resources, and tutorials to name a few things. And after completing my master's, I hope to devote some time to creating this resource. I would again like to thank you for watching my presentation and hope that it has sparked your interest in how I can help you with technology in the future.